Good afternoon. I hope you were able to join Zach Sainer for the RA lesson just a little bit ago on the RA Facebook page. And I welcome you over to the Kentucky RA Facebook page for a Campcraft lesson. My name is John Otten, and I am the RA consultant in Kentucky. And today I want to talk about faith. Faith is the RA virtue this month. And the RA definition of faith is believing in God, trusting His Word, and knowing Him through His Son, Jesus. This month, through the RA lessons, we have seen faith demonstrated by workers Doug and Mary Allen. They went by faith to the Middle East where they help refugees with their physical needs and tell them about God's love. We have also seen faith demonstrated in the stories of Ahmad and Amina. Their faith enables them to hold on to Jesus even when they face hardship and opposition. Today I want to talk to you about the parts of a basic compass and how to use a compass to find your direction and how that compass can help illustrate faith. I'm going to switch my camera here, and I have here a basic compass, or oftentimes it's called a base plate compass, and we're going to talk about the parts of this compass. So first part is the base, which is just this piece right here, the flat part of it, the base. Printed on the base right here is the direction of travel arrow. This black arrow right here is the direction of travel arrow. When your compass is set correctly, that's the arrow that will tell you the direction to go. The next part is this round part here. This is called the housing. You can see it's kind of thick there. And the housing turns. Just like that. And around the housing, you'll see numbers. These numbers are degrees. And the degrees, you use those to line them up with the direction of travel arrow so that you can set your compass correctly for the direction you want to go. And I want you to notice that there's an N on here, and where that N is would be either the number 0 or the number 360. So when you start with 0 here and go around, and it ends with 360 because there's 360 degrees in a circle. Okay, so that's the housing. Inside the housing, there's this floating arrow right here. And this arrow, if I was to lay this flat, you can see it'll turn. The red end of the arrow that's floating in here points north. It always points north because this is a magnetic needle. And so this magnetic needle or magnetic arrow is an important part of this compass. And finally, one final part of this compass, if you look into the bottom of the housing, right there, printed on the bottom of the housing, is this arrow that's outlined in red, but it's kind of hollow. This is called the orientation arrow. And you'll notice when I turn the housing, the orientation arrow turns with it. Okay, so the parts of the compass, you have the base here. You have the direction of travel arrow here. You have the housing here with the numbers on it. And you have the magnetic arrow here, red on one end. And then inside of the housing, you have the orientation arrow right here. And this is how you would use these parts together. Let's say I want to go north. I would take and I would turn this in until it lines up right there. The N lines up with the direction of travel arrow. And then I would lay my compass flat like this and turn it until the magnetic arrow right there is inside of the orientation arrow. And now I know that this way, where the direction of travel arrow is pointing this way, is north. Let's say I wanted to set it, it's not going to work if you hold it upright like this. You have to always keep it flat like this in order for it to work correctly. Let's say I wanted to set it for east. If you look on the housing, right there is a little E right at 90 degrees. And you turn this until the E lines up with the direction of travel arrow. And then you lay it flat and you turn the compass like this. There we go. And the magnetic arrow is inside the orientation arrow. And so now we can see that coming back towards me is east, going back over my left shoulder. We could do the same with west. There's the W for west. It's right at 270 degrees, and we put it right there, line it up with the direction of travel arrow. Lay this flat, turn it, oops, there we go. Right there, you see the magnetic arrow is lined up with the orientation arrow, and there's our direction of travel arrow pointing that way, away from me, and that is west. All right, so how does this compass illustrate the virtue of faith? Well, when the compass is set correctly, we have faith that it is pointing in the direction we want to go, even if we can't see the place where we're going. Let's say I was to tell you that due west of where I am at right now, there's a creek called Chenoweth Run Creek. It's about a mile away due west. Well, if you took this compass and set it for west like it is now, you would be able to say with confidence that directly that direction, a mile away, if you were to walk that way, you would come to Chenoweth Creek. Let's say I told you that due north of where I'm at, there's a set of railroad tracks, and they're about 2 to 3 miles away. And I set my compass to north and turn it that way, then you would know with confidence that coming back this way, if you were to walk between 2 and 3 miles, you would come to a set of railroad tracks. And finally, if you were to set this to east, right there, and orient it correctly, I could tell you that with confidence, if you walk 2 miles east, back in this direction, you would come to I-265 from right where I'm at. In Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, it says, faith is the reality of what we hope for, the proof of what is not seen. When a compass is set correctly, we can have faith that it's going to take us to where we want to go. When we put our faith in Jesus Christ, that faith tells us that what we hope for is real because our hope is in Jesus. And Jesus is much greater than a compass. Putting faith in Jesus gives us confidence in something that we cannot see. Just like Ahmad and Amina, their faith in Jesus gives them confidence that what they hope for is sure. Just like the Allens, their faith gives them confidence that they can go where God calls them to go and help those who are in need, and that He will watch over them as they go. That's faith. And anytime you use a compass and you follow the direction that you set on it with confidence, remember the faith that we need to have in God, and that we need to have confidence that when we trust in Him, He will lead us to where He wants us to go. All right. If you want to learn more about compasses, you could take the Campcraft manual. Looks like that right there. And you can go to page 150 in chapter 9, and you can learn about compasses. Chapter 9 will also teach you other things about compasses and maps as well, and trail signs. And if you are an RA group that does Campcraft patches, then learning the basic parts of a compass is one of the requirements for the hiker patch. So if you are working on earning a hiker patch, you need to know the parts of the compass that we talked about today. All right, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you being here, and I hope you have a great day.